York's classic rock. Q1043.
Andrew Dice Clay is here in the room with us, and he's, besides, an incredibly talented entertainer, an awesome comedian and actor, but he's also, I learned moments ago, a man of steel, a man of iron, a man of an iron will.
What do you mean?
This is such a great intro. I had to film it.
Okay,
Should we start over?
Do you see the cigarette in his hand?
Right.
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
Okay, he doesn't smoke. He quit smoking. He keeps a pack of cigarettes on his body. He never smokes it. He just holds a cigarette.
I quit like 6 years ago.
And that works?
He just holds the cigarette in his hand. And he was, talk about willpower.
Why don't you try that?
You know what?
It's not just a matter of quitting. He's got a pack in his pocket.
Wait a minute. How did you do it? How did you do it?
I quit in a day when
How?
I decided. I don't know. I got this thing in me. And I was a heavy smoker, as you know, okay? But I got this thing where I could just shut off, and that's it.
Except that you're holding one in your hand.
And it's really not the first time I quit. The first time I quit was years ago that I didn't, and I did the unlit cigarette. I didn't smoke for 10 years.
Wow.
Okay? And then I went through, what's this?
That's the coffee.
That you asked for.
I don't know, the way he looked at me like...
That was Trevor. Trevor brought
in
him the
way
coffee.
Trevor looked like he did something.
Because they always send me to get the coffee, and I don't drink coffee, and I don't make coffee, and then I'm guessing. It's a guessing
You know what?
game.
You did a good job.
Thank you.
So what do you want to tip?
4-year
Tipping's
degree.
everything if you're ever in Vegas. Remember that.
I got it.
And tipping's everything. You want anything in life, tipping. And you got to do it a certain way. You got to hold the money and grab the hand of the person, and you say something like, "Get yourself something." And you let the hand go.
There you go.
Sometimes I do that with people in the street when I want to know what time it is.
Uh-huh.
I'll take like a 5, and I'll go, "Excuse me, come here." I go, "You know what time it is?" And they'll tell you, "Here you go, get yourself something." I've had people drop the money. Like I put drugs in their hand. It's hysterical.
You just asked me what
I just
time
love
it was, and you
goofing on
didn't, and
people.
where's my $5?
But anyway, with the cigarettes, I quit for 10 years. And then, I lost my mom. The cycle of life. Yeah. I lost my mom. Then I get a call from my sister thinking my father's going to go. And I just lit up. And he didn't. It lasted for years. You know what I mean? So I smoked for another 6 years, and then that was it. Out of it.
And now you've been off cigarettes.
Oh, for 6 years.
That's
for 6 years.
amazing.
Yeah. It's absolutely amazing because I'm looking across the room at him holding a Marlboro Light in his hand.
Nobody likes smoking more. I don't, when I'm on stage.
Yeah.
After a while they get wet, so I flick the cigarette, and the audience goes, "Oh," like they think I'm flicking a lit cigarette.
Which you're not.
Like I'm going to have to take another one now.
Well, speaking of audiences, at Madison Square Garden on Friday night, Bill Burr was doing his big Madison Square Garden show as part of the New York Comedy Festival. A big sold-out crowd, and there was a big surprise for everybody. Because
you know what?
Unannounced, there you were to open
It was, well, just how this whole thing has become is, he is like the only comic I've gone to see like ever, okay? I just don't go see shows. And my girlfriend, who I call Sugar Plum, she goes, this is a few months back, Bill Burr is going to be at the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. And I know Bill has always looked up to me with comedy, and I know how it feels when somebody before you, like the pecking order, comes to see you. So I texted him and I said, "Look, if you don't want me to come and you think it'll be weird, I don't have to come." And he goes, "No, I want you there." So all the way there, I'm teasing my girlfriend, going, because I'm always in a leather of some kind. I go, "Oh, I haven't done an arena in nearly 20. Last time I did the Garden was in 2000. And I haven't done an arena in nearly 24 years, whatever." And she's going, "It's not your show. You're not going to go on." She's just, you're going to go see the show. I'm a little nervous. I'm just playing it. I love goofing, like you see how I film everything. And, we show up and the goof is on me because he gets up, he's got this big smile, dice, and he goes, "You're going to do some time up there, right?" And I go, my stomach dropped. And I go, no, that's not what I'm here for. He goes, "No, you got to do something up there." So the one thing she did say in the car after a while of me goofing on her, she goes, "Well, I don't know, maybe he'd want you to introduce him or something." So that's what I said. I go, "If you want, I'll just introduce you, and...
But that wasn't the plan, was it?
No, he said, "Do whatever you want, So anyway, when they introduced me in Newark, the crowd exploded. And I wound up doing time. And the whole thing is, I went through a thing. I'll just be honest. A few years ago, the Bell's palsy, where my whole face dropped.
Right.
So to be honest, I stick to a certain level of theater. And my agents protect me because sometimes it could tighten up in your throat, whatever. You deal with the aftermath. I'm lucky I look normal again. So that's why I haven't tried to go big, but I have talked to my agents, let's say over the last year, going, you know what? I still got that fire in me. I know I can do it, but I'm like, be honest, afraid to go in front of a giant crowd.
Well, in Madison Square Garden, you did.
Well, the Prudential was just as big. It's an arena.
Yeah, but Madison Square Garden is where you made history early in your career, the first comedian to ever sell it out 2 nights in a row.
But this is what I want you to know.
Okay.
So I do that show in Newark, okay? Next morning, she's telling me, "You see, you can do it. You see how you faced that crowd and they went nuts?" Couple weeks later, I get a text on a Monday night from the road manager, Tom Mayhew, who has Guns N' Roses, and they're playing the MetLife, which is now about 60,000 people, and they want me the next night because I opened for them many moons ago at the Rose Bowl in L.A., and my girl's like, "You don't have to do this." But I always referred to myself like the Rocky of comedy in a way. And I said, but I do have to do it. It's just a tougher opponent. And I did it. And again, unannounced, I walk out, they go crazy. It was an incredible night, okay? Now I see Bill's doing Madison Square Garden. And I'm like, oh, man, this is my home. And we talk on the phone, and he goes, I want you to do a spot. You could be the special guest. And I'm like, I don't know. This is because that's the place, like you were just saying.
Yeah, you made history there.
I made history 2 nights in a row before I created arena comedy.
Right.
So he wanted me to do this thing, and I'm like, oh, God, the switch is on, and I'm booking bigger theaters like in L.A., the Wiltern I'll do this week, which was my original theater in L.A., and we'll talk about what's coming in a minute. So Friday night, this time I at least had time to really prepare, and... I got this. She's like the Mickey of Rocky.
Sugar
like
plum.
going, you're going to go out there and you're going to do your best. You're not going to hold back.
Yeah, but isn't it so important in life to have people who surround you, who are supportive?
Right,
and
who
loving
believe
like
in
that?
you.
Well, I got to tell
believe in
you, every girl I've ever been, that's why I talk about it, because every girl I've ever been with in my life, was more toxic than the last one. And this is the first relationship. It's over 4 years. No arguing, no fight. I can't even believe it.
How did you get it right this time?
She's just it's who she is. I mean, we live in harmony. We met through my opening act, actually, Eleanor Kerrigan, who's, to me, the greatest female stand-up in the country. You might not know her, but she takes on every crowd I do. And she'll be with me at this gig. But
okay, which we're going to tell you about.
But Friday night, I went up there to deliver, and I walked out, and the crowd went berserk. And I could have done 2 hours for this audience. Every bit I did was just landing. And it was just an emotional and an incredible experience. And, and I gave him an incredible introduction. I gave him a big hug up there.
Yeah, because it was very generous of him to bring on a talent like you.
Well, you want to know
open for him.
You got to be nuts. You got to be out of your mind, because that's why he gets my respect, because he saw what I did at the Prudential. So it's like, you're really going to bring me on again? You know what I do. Mm-hmm. But he is a guy that likes to challenge himself on stage.
He also sounds to me like a good friend. Andrew Dice Clay is with us. We'll be right back here at Q104.3. It's 8:15. Movies. I don't know if you remember this or not, and I hope I get this right, but the Dice Man here got rave reviews, I guess it was about a decade ago, for playing a dramatic role in Blue Jasmine.
I've done a lot of them.
Yeah, but Blue Jasmine.
Jasmine.
Because people were going, oh, this is Andrew Dice Clay.
You want to know,
the depth
that
of his
was
performance.
embarrassing to me, because they were calling me Brando. They were saying you're going to be nominated and win the Academy Award. And I you want to talk to me about comedy, I'll go, you know what? I'm the greatest. I'm the most visually stimulating comic ever. But with acting, I go, I'm capable.
Yeah, but you did get rave reviews in that.
No, I know, but it was embarrassing because I'm not Brando.
No, but you are the Dice Man.
I'll never tell anybody outside the family what you're thinking.
That's pretty good, though.
That's
pretty
very
good on the spot. But no, Brando's, please.
You started early on in your career. You were
with the acting.
You were an impressionist, and there were a lot of famous impressionists going back to when we were all little kids, and hardly any of them are around anymore because there aren't stars big enough for everyone to recognize.
You're right. You're right.
Which makes it tough. But everybody knows the Dice Man, and we have an important announcement to make.
Yes. So anyway, because I started doing these bigger venues. We're now going on sale, which is the craziest place, and the one place I haven't done in New York, which is Carnegie Hall, which is going to be on February 15th in a few months. And I'm very excited about that, because that was a time in my career the people at Carnegie Hall didn't even want me on that block. You know what I mean? There were places I wasn't at.
You know, you're on their block right now.
It's just, that's right. But it's a very exciting thing to know, that I'm going to be where, like, the tree tennis were over there. You know what I mean? They were there. I think Michelangelo, like, painted the joint. No, but I mean, they have, like, Pavarotti doing the Mozart stuff.
It's Carnegie Hall, yes, it's true.
They have their
Dice at
standards.
Carnegie Hall is a very funny thing, and I'm very excited about it.
Well, Carnegie Hall tickets, and I think this is really cool. You can get Carnegie Hall tickets beginning tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock at carnegiehall.org. And you don't have to have a certain special kind of credit card or anything. You just use this password, Dice.
Pre-sale.
Yeah.
Pre-sale.
Yeah. Use the password, Dice.
I don't even know how people know about it, because people are coming over to me in the street going, aren't you going to be at Carnegie Hall?
Well, since we just made the announcement, 15 seconds ago?
No, but I'm saying they're coming over to me knowing it for some reason. And I'm like, we haven't even announced this yet, but they're very excited about it.
Maybe it leaked somehow because, it's kind of news.
No, but I didn't do it yet, like on the Instagram and I didn't do that yet, So, I mean, I will, but
It's big news, so it leaked.
February 15th, Dice meets Carnegie Hall.
Well,
awesome.
Congratulations.
It's very, very exciting
Congratulations to you, and thank you for coming here to make the announcement.
Did you see even the chicks were here, the Rockettes.
Oh, from Radio City Music Hall.
And I'm like, honey,
they're right down the hall.
No, I know, but I was like, I don't got time for this now. I mean, you girls are great. you know how to be synchronized and everything. Maybe I could use you in the show. You do the leg kick thing. Hooray for Dice Wood. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. Because they're great. I love the Rockettes. Who doesn't like the Rockettes?
And they're not working in February.
And they, you know what? They look so much younger, when I saw them, did they like switch these chicks out? You know what I mean? They've been around. They don't age, these women. I got to tell you.
They've been around, what, since the 1930s?
Yeah.
It's amazing. That's good genetics.
Sure is.
I'll tell you that right now.
Okay,
See? Exercise.
Let's go through this one more time.
All right. Okay.
It's February 15th, Carnegie Hall. You can get Carnegie Hall tickets beginning tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock. That's Eastern Time here in New York at carnegiehall.org with the password DICE. Of course, AndrewDiceClay.com, at Andrew Dice Clay on Instagram, at Andrew Dice Clay on TikTok.
His videos of him on the
Isn't
street
it
are-
amazing all the things you have to say to announce a gig when years ago you could just go, Dice, Carnegie Hall, tickets on sale tomorrow.
Right.
And now you could get .org, .this, .that.
Yep.
Every
I know.
dot imaginable.
Well, we all have to do social media now. It's like...
No, I do it. Let me tell you something. That's a big part of what's happened to me because, I do go to people on the street and go, on the Instagram and TikTok, it's blown through the roof from me asking people if they want a picture, with the face, the famous face of acclaimed fame.
Right.
And you got to see people walk away. That's the beauty of it. They look at you and they go, no. Like, why would I want a picture with you? You got to look at the Instagram, Andrew Dice Clay Instagram.
But we want a picture with you, which we're going to take in just a
Yes.
moment. Andrew
Yes.
Dice Clay, thank you
100
for visiting with us this morning
Thank
here
you.
at
And thank you for
104.3.
having me. This was a lot of fun.
New York's classic rock. Q1043.